This is the 2nd of December 2023. You know what amazes me? The absolute stupidity of the American people in funding NASA. I got this clip. It was published on the 30th of November 2023, put up by Physic.org. Title: After 50 years, U.S. to return to the moon on January 25th. Huh? More than 50 years after the last Apollo mission, the United States will try once again to land a craft on the moon on January 25th, said the head of what could be the first private company to successfully touch down on the lunar surface. Got a question: why would anyone want to go there when it's so hostile of an environment that gets bombarded every single day by large rocks flying through space? What about the Van Allen belt that would fry any electronic equipment? The lander named Peregrine will have no one on board. It was developed by American company Astrobotic, whose CEO John Thornton said it will carry NASA instruments to study the lunar environment in anticipation of NASA's Artemis manned mission. All right, so what are they going to do to protect the electronic equipment? Several years ago, NASA opted to commission U.S. companies to send scientific experiments and technologies to the moon, a program called CLPS. These fixed-price contracts should make it possible to develop a lunar economy and provide transport service at a lower cost. Why would you want to develop a lunar economy for an environment that's completely hostile? 250-degree swings down to the same minus. I mean, it's completely crazy. One of the big challenges of what we're attempting here is attempting to launch and landing on the surface of the moon for a fraction of it what would otherwise cost, said Thornton Wednesday at a press briefing at his company's base in Pittsburgh. Only about half of the missions that have gone to the surface of the moon have been successful, he said. Well, actually, none of them have been successful. So it's certainly a daunting challenge. I'm going to be terrified and thrilled all at once at every stage of this. Takeoff is scheduled for December 24th from Florida aboard the inaugural flight of the new rocket from ULA Industrial Group named Vulcan Centaur. The probe will then take a few days to reach lunar orbit, but will have to wait until January 25th before attempting landing, so that light conditions in the target location are right, Thornton said. The descent will be carried out autonomously without human intervention. Well, if it's carried out autonomously without human intervention, why do you need light? But will be monitored from the company's control center. In the spring, the Japanese startup iSpace had already attempted to become the first private company to land on the moon, but the mission ended in a crash. Israel also suffered a setback in 2019. Only 4 countries have successfully landed on the moon: the United States, Russia, China, and most recently, India. In addition to Astrobotic, NASA has signed contracts with other companies such as Firefly Aerospace, Draper, and Intuitive Machines. The later is due to take off aboard SpaceX rockets in January. NASA's leadership is aware of the risk and has accepted that some of these missions might not succeed, says Chris Colbert, the CLPS program manager. But even if every landing isn't successful, CLPS already had an impact on the commercial infrastructure needed to establish a lunar economy. This is completely crazy. With its Artemis program, NASA wants to establish a base on the surface of the moon. All right, so I went ahead and I did a couple of searches, and I came up with some interesting information. Let me give you a couple of those pieces that might be of interest to you. And I'm going to attach a couple of additional links for you to take a peruse through. I mean, it's just a complete joke. Astronauts must fly to the Van Allen belt to reach outer space. So it is important to fly through this region quickly to limit their exposure to radiation. Sensitive electronics on satellites and spacecraft traveling through the Van Allen belt also need to be protected from radiation. All right, so let me give you an idea as to the hazards of the radiation belt. I mean, it's completely crazy. One second, I gotta find this other link now. You know, there's just so many links I have to play with. But you can't make this stuff up, folks. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. I think this is the one I'm looking for. If you think this is easy, try doing it. How strong is the radiation in the Van Allen belt? I think this is what I'm looking for. The inner Van Allen belt consists largely of highly energetic protons, which exceed energy of 30 million electronic volts. The peak intensity of these protons is approximately 20,000 particles per second, crossing a spherical area of 1 square centimeter in all directions. So, you got 30 million electronic volts. 20,000 particles per second. So you got to be coming through that pretty quickly, huh? Thing's a complete joke. I mean, it just amazes me how stupid people are to buy this crap. NASA is nothing but a money pit that has taken in probably trillions of dollars. Remember what the one of the leaders of the NASA facility said? Well, the reason we haven't gone back to the moon is because we lost all the telemetry. Huh? I'll attach the links. You look at them. And again, why would we want to go to a hostile planet that gets bombarded all over its surface constantly and has these incredible swings of temperature? No one could live there. It's a complete joke. I'll attach the links. You look at them. Let me know what you think. Send a copy of this to your worthless representatives. Tell them to stop funding NASA. But they won't.